It's no good having all tiers of the organizational chart focused on getting things done if the company culture simply doesn't support delivering on plans. The third cornerstone is creating and managing a culture of execution. Culture can be defined as the shared beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors of employees in an organization. So when it comes time to execute a strategy, it shouldn't be viewed as a one-time event. Instead, it's an intrinsic element of that organizational culture that is ongoing. So to effectively execute a strategy, you sometimes need to make changes to corporate culture to produce results. Think about how hard it can be to realize plans. Perhaps you thought of benefits such as the increased likelihood that your company will follow through on its promises. Other benefits include having your workforce aligned toward the same goals, having a clear direction, and feeling appreciated. Strategy execution requires a specific set of behaviors and techniques. In order to produce strategic results, you need to change the corporate culture to focus on those goals. In other words, you need to change people's behavior. In order to change behaviors, company leaders need to identify relevant beliefs. Then you can work to change the reward system which is embedded in culture. Throughout these changes, you should use robust communication. Always link culture to strategy and use the power of shared norms. Select each action for changing corporate culture to learn more. Changing the beliefs and behaviors of employees is not an easy task, especially since an organization's culture is often ingrained. If you think about behaviors as beliefs in action, the corporate culture defines which employee actions are respected and rewarded. If a company rewards people for strategy execution-focused behaviors, the corporate culture will also shift. Make sure your reward system doesn't simply focus on measurable results like sales figures or new client acquisitions. It must also reward desirable behavior that supports. You must also ensure you have robust dialogue and clear communication throughout all levels of the organization when creating a culture of execution. Everyone involved must be willing to be realistic about the situation and open to discussion. This approach helps create real conversations, ideas, and solutions. For example, company leaders must be realistic and ensure the organization is free from segregation and favoritism. They must set an example and be willing to exchange ideas with all employees. It's also important to create a strong culture that is strategically relevant. This is characterized by two qualities: definitive agreement at all organizational levels about what is valued, and definitive agreement about the importance of those values. Sometimes, a strong culture fails to materialize. You must also take advantage of the power of shared norms within an organization. Different from formal rules, norms can be defined as socially shared standards that lead individuals to conform. Group norms often have a degree of social control over employees. They sometimes dictate how people perceive each other, how they make decisions, and how problems are solved. So in trying to change behaviors, you can alter shared norms and create strategy execution-focused behaviors. For example, a company with strong... Consider this example. A national public transportation company has a strategy to move a high volume of passengers efficiently and at a low cost. It's able to execute that strategy due to a strong culture. First, company leaders work to change the corporate culture to one so focused on safety it's detrimental to efficiency. Employees are in agreement that providing efficient and cost-effective transportation to the public is of value and a priority. They have a lot to say on the topic and are glad to have a chance to voice their concerns and ideas. The whole company unites around those common values, and all employees feel they're a part of something larger than themselves. This excites employees and inspires them to achieve meaningful goals set by the company. Also, the company changes the reward system to reward those employees whose behavior goes above and beyond what's needed to keep trains running and customers happy. Employees are focused on the strategy and make decisions that help execute it. Which examples describe cultures that support execution? Now that you have an idea what makes up a strong culture of execution, you have to determine how to achieve it in your own organization. You can follow 4 steps to manage and create a culture that supports business execution. Provide vision and impetus, offer education and time for socializing, communicate, and reward. It's vital to strategy execution that employees at all levels understand where the company is trying to go. You must provide a picture of the end result and explain why this cultural change is good for everyone. So for step 1, provide vision and impetus, you must have clear reasons for change. As a company leader, you must also live the change and set the example. And you must get agreement from key players so everyone is on the same page. Select each action for providing vision and impetus to learn more. You should provide everyone involved with clear and honest reasons for strategy execution. Most business strategies are designed to improve an aspect of the business, so you have to explain how that aspect is progressing. If you can clearly show employees a record of poor performance and demonstrate how strategy execution will improve it, it'll be easy. The leader of strategy execution is the person who first communicates vision and impetus. So to set the example for the whole organization, you should also live the change. Your actions will. A strong culture of execution requires that all key players agree on the vision. Effective strategy execution can only happen if employees at all levels buy in. But before that can happen, employees in all key roles must also be actively involved and in agreement. For example, consider this example. The CEO of an electronics company explains to the company that in the past 4 years, their main competitor has put out 67 new products compared to their 25. She points out that she has held a number of meetings with innovators in the sector and her board. The CEO and her executive team then present the strategy of maximizing innovation and its strategic initiatives to the company to great applause. The CEO is providing vision and impetus for the new strategy. She has solid reasons for change. The company is failing to remain competitive. The CEO is living the change by engaging with innovators in the sector. Finally, by having her team present the strategy, she's showing a united front regarding the strategy. A nationwide chain of department stores is trying to execute a business strategy focused on customer service. Select the Nationwide Department Store Culture of Execution Learning Aid to review how it created a culture of execution. Does the CEO effectively provide vision and impetus? The second step when creating and managing a culture of execution is providing employees with adequate education and allowing time for employees to socialize with coworkers. Select each action to learn more about it. To ensure employees understand the new culture, you must train everyone on the new set of values. Ensuring employees have time to socialize will accomplish 2 goals. Consider again the electronics company using innovation to regain its market share. 2-day sessions are scheduled to teach employees how to use the new intercompany innovation software and discuss ways of transforming ideas into products. The software enables employees to share ideas, offer feedback, and pass along helpful information. Most of the second day, however, is free time for employees to mingle, try out the new software, and start talking about how they can be involved in strategy execution. Consider again the nationwide chain of department stores that is trying to execute a business strategy focused on customer service. Select the Nationwide Department Store Culture of Execution Learning Aid to review how it created a culture of execution. How are employees educated? The third step to create a strong culture of execution is to communicate. Effective communication leads to genuine understanding of strategy execution. And communication gives further credibility to the vision and reasoning behind the strategy. Communication must be clear, effective, and positive, and it must be directed at the people affected. Also, to be truly effective, communication must be two-way. Select the attributes of good communication. Your communication must be clear, effective, and positive. This is the time to really make an impression on everyone involved by clarifying. All communication must be directed at the people affected by the changes. If you're trying to create a company-wide culture, it's important that you ensure you have two-way communication, bottom-up and top-down. This means employees being able to pass information along to upper management as easily as upper management sends messages to employees. The fourth step when changing your corporate culture to one of execution is to reward. You can use a reward system to manage culture of execution by encouraging or discouraging certain behavior. But behavior isn't the only thing to reward. You must also measure and reward performance. Measure performance in connection to whether employees embody the values and behaviors of the culture of execution. It's important that you ensure you have two-way communication, bottom-up and top-down. This means employees being able. All communication must be directed at the people affected. Your communication must be clear, effective, and positive. The fourth step when changing your corporate culture to one of execution is to reward. You can use a reward system to manage culture of execution by encouraging or discouraging certain behavior. But behavior isn't the only thing to reward. You must also measure and reward performance. Measure performance in connection to whether employees embody the values and behaviors of the culture of execution. Select each use of a reward system to manage a culture of. If you reward and promote people for strategy execution-focused behaviors, the corporate culture will also shift. The bottom line is that if you link your reward system to the new corporate culture, you can strengthen. Business strategy is designed to improve performance, but strategy can't be executed without a strong culture of execution. So, to create a strong culture of execution, you must measure and reward employee performance against the values and Think back again to the electronics company. The CEO takes every advantage to speak to employees, clients, customers, and the general public about company aims. She also encourages employees in all levels of the company to offer ideas. An electronic bulletin board is created so people can post questions, thoughts, or solutions to other employees' problems. And she introduces a company-wide contest for a luxury vacation for the family of the employee with the best product design idea. The CEO worked hard to spread a clear, effective, and positive message. She spoke with everyone she met, directing the message to all people who were going to be affected by the changes. And she encouraged two-way conversations with employees to get their ideas and feedback. The CEO also wants to link the values and behaviors of the new culture of execution to the reward system and get employees excited about making changes. Consider again the nationwide chain of department stores that is trying to execute a business strategy focused on customer service. Select the Nationwide Department Store Culture of Execution Learning Aid to review how it created a culture of execution. How does the new culture of execution The third cornerstone in strategy execution is creating and managing a culture of execution. A strong culture of execution must have definitive agreement at all organizational levels about what is valued, and everyone involved must feel intensely about those values. Also, such a culture values robust dialogue, is strategically relevant, has strong shared norms, and rewards desirable behaviors. In order to create a strong culture of execution, you can follow 4 steps. Step 1 is to provide vision and impetus so employees understand why strategy execution